All right, y'all. It is time. We have been waiting for this moment. Well, my guest, friend, partial co-host here, Josh Earl, and myself, for a long time. This is the expansion draft 2022 for the NBA. Two new teams are coming in here. We're gonna make stuff happen. Your boy with the rules and everything is confused constantly, so I'm going to bring the expert on himself here to talk about it. Josh, expansion time is here. We're about to get into it. Can you lay out the groundwork for us?
Yeah. So we are operating from this offseason as if the NBA is expanding by two teams. And because we get to decide who those two teams are, and I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I'm still pissed about both Seattle and Vancouver getting their teams stolen from them, we're going to be expanding with a new Seattle Supersonics team, which will be selected by Corbin, and we'll be also having a Vancouver Orcas expansion team as well. The main rules to know is that existing teams are allowed to protect up to 8 players, including restricted free agents, from being selected. Every existing team must expose at least one player who can't possibly become a free agent as the result of a player option or an ETO. Each team can only lose one player to selection in the expansion draft. So if, say, Corbin took somebody from Washington, I can't take somebody from Washington. They're off the board. Um, Unrestricted free agents are neither eligible to be protected or selected in the expansion draft. And then restricted free agents can be selected, but upon selection, immediately become unrestricted free agents. But the nice thing there is they're unable to re-sign with their former team. So even if they won't stay with you as the expansion team, you can still screw over another franchise if you really want to. Um, Another kind of key thing is expansion teams have a lower salary cap for their first 2 seasons. It's 80% of the cap in year one, 90% in year two. And that correlates to a cap for Corbin and my team of 98,924,000. And then the other key thing is expansion teams are limited from receiving a top 4 pick in their first season. So we can't just magically assume that one of us or both of us get, you know, Paolo or Chet or even Keegan. We're kind of stuck with the 5th, 6th picks and so forth. Speaking of that, there was a coin flip, and Corbin got the 5th pick in the first round of this NBA draft. That also means he has the 36th pick in the second round. I have the 6th pick in the first round and the 35th pick in the second round. And then I'll be selecting first in the expansion draft, and Corbin will be selecting second in the expansion draft. So Corbin, another interesting thing, and I brought this up to Corbin before we started this because the Lakers have to leave somebody unprotected, and we both decided they'd probably leave Russ unprotected. And there's an interesting thing where if a team that's over the cap has a player selected in the expansion draft, they are given a traded player exception in the amount of that player's salary. So I was asking Corbin if he's so much of a Laker fan that he will do the Lakers a solid and add Russell Westbrook, who is a big, like, Corbin's a huge fan of Russell Westbrook, add Russell Westbrook to his expansion franchise, and in the process give the Lakers the ability to have $44 million to work with in trades. So that's something I wanted to bring up just in case Corbin pulls that off. And then another thing, Corbin, for our knowledge, is salaries of players selected in the expansion draft who are waived before the season starts don't count in our team salaries.
Okay.
So you can like select however many people in the expansion draft, and if you plan on waiving them before the season actual starts, their cap numbers aren't going to count against your team salary.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
It's not bad at all. All right. This promises to be interesting.
Yes.
That is for sure. As far as the Russell decision, I mean, excuse me. I hate to say this because I am just a big Russell Westbrook fan.
It's true.
I'm a big Lakers fan. You know this. But I'm also now the GM
and the Seattle
Supersonics. And I can't do that to them. I also have to look out for my own job. You know, at the end of the day,
that's totally fair.
You gotta look out for number one. And so because of that, although that would give the Lakers so much flexibility, helping them out with LeBron extending and, you know, trying to be a championship contender, they got to figure out themselves. They made that move. I didn't help them. And no, we will not be reacquiring I think it was our last.
Technically, he was selected before they made the move.
Yes,
but the season was over, so they were not technically the OKC Thunder yet.
Yeah.
So he was the Sonics' last draft pick, but he never suited up for them at all.
That is so interesting. Yeah, exactly. So be the Sonics' last first round pick. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was meant to be. Like he didn't suit up then. Why haven't suit up now? So
fair enough. I just thought it'd be an interesting conundrum to put to you.
It was. I thought about it for a second. I really did. I was like, I'm not sure. You know, it'd be kind of cool. But then again, I'm not gonna be able to engineer the Lakers exercise. So I just did them a favor. And I'm not gonna see how that pays off. Nah, I'm too selfish for
that. All right. Well, do you want to get rolling? Should we start with the expansion draft?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So
do we want to run
interesting thing? Huh?
Do you want to run by the players real quick that are protected?
That might take a long time.
Oh, it's a while. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, it's every single person that was on these teams' caps.
Or do we want
cap sheets at the end of
run by the players who are unprotected? I apologize.
Yeah. Let's go by the unprotected. Unprotected players. The Atlanta Hawks left Jalen Johnson unprotected. The Boston Celtics left Aaron Nesmith and Daniel Theis unprotected. Brooklyn Nets left Day'Ron Sharpe unprotected. Charlotte Hornets, Kelly Oubre Jr., Mason Plumlee, Kai Jones, Nick Richards, and JT Thor unprotected. And remember, as we're going through this list of names, there might be some people on here who you're like, why would they be unprotected? Because they can only protect 8 people.
Yeah, and
there's only 8 people they can protect, and for a variety of reasons, these players, based on Corbin and Mai's dialogue, are the ones that are unprotected. Chicago Bulls left Tony Bradley and Marko Simonovic unprotected. Cavs left Chetty Osman, Dylan Windler, Dean Wade, and Lamar Stevens unprotected. The Mavs, here's an interesting one, left Tim Hardaway Jr. unprotected, in part because that's a big ass contract. They left one of my favorite NBA players, Boban Marjanovic, Trey Burke, Sterling Brown, Frank Ntilikina, and Marquez Chris. Denver Nuggets left JaMychal Green and Vlatko Kankar. Pistons left Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph, and Saban Lee. Golden State Warriors had to leave somebody unprotected, and it wound up being Moses Moody. The Houston Rockets left, surprisingly, John Wall unprotected, as well as David Nwaba, Garrison Matthews, Kenyon Martin Jr., and Daishen Nix. The Pacers. No, you're good.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll help you out with some of these too, but I know you beforehand that this is done before all these moves have happened. So obviously,
this is done. This is done well before the draft, the actual 2022 NBA draft occurs. This is basically what happens right at the end of the season after the finals. All these
Hmm.
teams have to submit their protected list so that the expansion draft can occur before the NBA draft occurs.
There you go. Appreciate. Yeah, I know someone's gonna listen to me like, wait a second. There it is, because that could have been
Yeah.
me actually. But no.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think it was when I reached out to you, Josh. I was like, wait a second. Danny Green is on the Grizzlies, but and you
Yeah.
told me, I
Like,
was like, oh yeah.
not yet. Not yet.
Not in this. Yeah. So you're on the Rockets, right?
Yeah, so just did the Rockets, so
Okay.
Pacers.
Oh, so Pacers, yeah. T.J. McConnell and Goga Batatsi. Goodbye with them. For the Clippers, another interesting one. Marcus Morris Sr. Big contract, as Josh already alluded to with another player. Jason Preston, Brandon Boston Jr., and Amir Coffey. For the Lakers, Russell Westbrook. Gotta move on. For the Grizzlies, John Concar, Santi Aldama, Killian Tilly, and Xavier Tillman. For the Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson and Hayward Highsmith. For the Milwaukee Bucks, George Hill. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Leandro Bolmaro, Jordan McLaughlin, playoff hero, Game 6, Jalen Noel, and Nas Reed. For the New Orleans Pelicans, Devontae Graham, Jackson Hayes, Garrett Temple, Willie Hernan Gomez, Najee Marshall, and Jose Alvarado. Whoa. Anyway, for the...
Again, they can only protect 8 players. And at this point, they had 8 players ahead of these guys that they'd want to protect.
There it is. There it is. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. My reaction was
no, you're right. Like, that's exactly what I think a lot of people would be when they see some of these names on the list. Like, really?
Hold up now. Exactly. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
For the Knicks, Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, Kemba Walker, and Miles McBride. For Thunder, Derek Favors, Darius Baisley, Ty Jerome, Teo Maladon, Isaiah Roby, and Vit Krejci. For the Orlando Magic, yeah, I hope so. Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, Moritz Wagner, and Devin Kennedy. And for the Philadelphia 76ers, Danny Green, Shake Milton, Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed, and Charles Bassey. Sorry, Philly, we're moving right on. Phoenix Suns, Dario Saric and Landry Shamet. Portland Trailblazers, Eric Bledsoe and Trendon Watford. Sacramento Kings, Maurice Harkless, Terrence Davis, Alex Len. San Antonio Spurs, Romeo Langford, Keita Bates-Diop, Jacques Landell, and Joe Weiskamp. For the Toronto Raptors, Malachi Flynn, Zvi Mikhailuk, and Delano Banton. For the Utah Jazz, Nikhil Alexander-Walker and Udoka Azubuike. And then last, but certainly not least, the Washington Wizards will part with beloved backup point guard Ish Smith, as well as the young big Vernon Carey Jr. So these are the players, the pool of which we have the distinction to make the selection for our new team. Yikes is the word I will say.
The one thing I want to reiterate is this is an expansion off season. Like, we'll have the expansion draft. We'll make our picks that would be our picks if we were in the NBA draft. And then we'd also have free agency or trade if we have any of those that we feel would be realistic, and we can place our arguments to the other person and see if they would agree on that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, shall we get rolling on the expansion draft, my friend?
We shall begin. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Now the trick is, since I have the first pick, but I know Corbin has a pick before me, before I pick again, who do I think Corbin would take with the second pick? Which is a bit of a, like, game theory type thing. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the NBA champions guy that they had to leave unprotected, Moses Moody. It's hard to find a 20-year-old 3-and-D wing, and every team can use a 3-and-D wing, especially an expansion team. So I'm going with Moses Moody with my first pick in the expansion draft.
That's a tough one. I mean, like you said, the Warriors have a lot of established guys, and in this case, that they would have chosen to be protected over Moody. I'm shocked that he's there, and that is a hell of a find for number one, a guy to really build your team around. In real life, of course, we know he's going to have a much more substantial role, especially with the departing of several key wing players for the Warriors. So, yeah, that's going to be big for them. That puts me in a tough spot because that was the guy I was hoping would fall to me.
I figured.
Yeah, not a big fan of that at all. Now, looking at this, I mean, you know,
there's so much fun to pick from, though.
I mean, there is a lot of players. There is a lot of players for sure. And I mean,
The way to win is score more points.
exactly, and that's
Like,
always my ideal. Everyone who knows me knows I'm all about the points. But Moody being gone, darn, that hurts. I mean, I
sorry.
could anchor my team around an MVP, three-time triple-double champ, but I'm also getting only 1 year of him in 34 years, and obviously is a joke. So I'm trying to buy time here. This is tough. Wow. You know what? I'm just gonna take him off the board. He's not a guy you build around per se, but maybe I can form a core of players around this guy. Offense is needed. He definitely brings a solid NBA skill set to the table. He's not a young guy, but he is a guy, and that is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Okay.
I don't feel super great about that one personally.
Hey, like every team, especially an expansion team, is gonna need the ability to score. And of the guys that are available, Tim Hardaway Jr. is gonna get you some buckets.
Yeah, this reminds me of the old school, the '89 Charlotte Hornets with Kelly Tripucca, and then you had the Orlando Magic of Reggie Theus. Like you always have that one guy who usually gets buckets, usually late 20s, early 30s, not really good for anything but buckets, and gonna be on the bad team for it. Yeah, this is the perfect fit. Tim Hardaway Jr.
All right, so I have some thoughts that I'm gonna do in potentially free agency in the draft when it comes to like point guards, but I have the feeling, given the players that are available under the Clippers, that if I don't select somebody from the Clippers, that Corbin will probably select somebody from the Clippers in the next couple of picks. So I'm gonna go with Jason Preston.
Nice.
Which
Solid.
the Clippers themselves are very excited to see a healthy Preston and see how he develops. And he's a guy that I think, very quality decision maker, strong rebounder, good playmaker, and good shooter. In the 75 percentile or higher on catch and shoots, 3 points, pick and roll ball handler, handoffs, and spot ups and cuts on synergy. So this is a guy who, is he going to be a star who drives my team to success? No, but he's going to be a guy who can do a lot for a young expansion franchise, and he's only 23. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I am going to go with another guy who is also young. A guy who led his team in percentage of field goal attempts that were dunks at 25.6. Guy who shot 35%, from three for a minute there. That was, he shot 35% from three, and didn't do a horrible job. Not the most amazing of volume, but very solid. And he got hops. He gets up. He could become a really good all-around NBA player, and is only 21. I'm taking Kenyon Martin Jr.
All righty. Not bad. Also, I'm already sensing a theme. Legacy players. Corbin's got a thing for legacy players.
I was mad you took Brandon Boston.
I know,
because he actually was the guy I was looking at.
It is what it is. Let me mark off Houston here.
Yeah, I really hope he finds a way to the Lakers at some point. I mean, he did request a trade in real life. I feel like he'd be a perfect like buy low kind of guy.
Yeah. So I am gonna go with a guy who isn't the flashiest dude, but he does everything pretty well. I'm gonna take John Conchar and take the Memphis Grizzlies off the board. John Conchar, 6'5", 26 years old, so one of the slightly older guys in this expansion draft, but he's a wing I can rely upon to hit shots, to move well without the ball, know when to cut, when to relocate, to maintain spacing. He's a fantastic rebounder for a wing, and he's got a career effective field goal percentage of 61.2%. On top of it, he never makes mistakes. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to hurt my team whatsoever. On top of it, he's a very professional dude. Nice fit for an expansion team.
I like it. I like it. All right, this is a tough one for me because there's a few players that I'm looking at that I don't want Josh to mess up.
Yeah, that's me too, man. Me too.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also need to build a team I'm looking for that makes some sort of sense. And this is tough. This is tough because a few guys here that I'm just like, I'm looking at my team needs right now, and I have some scoring, and I have some hops in my first two picks, but I want one other guy who can kind of be a do it all type of dude. He was a 20th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Didn't play a whole lot with the main team, but in the G League, averaged 20 points per game and 11.8 rebounds. Most importantly for me, the 4.1 assists. Defensively, not perfect, but he had 9.9 defensive boards per game, 1.7 steals, 1.3 blocks. Like his size, like his mobility, think he could be a plus defender. But I especially love the ability he is able to show of possibly playmaking at his size. That would be Jalen Johnson. So I will be selecting.
Nice. You did snipe me on that one. I was considering him with my next pick.
There it is. That's I want between him and Kenyon Martin. I mean, I won't talk about the guy I was considering until he's taken, because I might have a chance to get him later. But
Yeah.
I like the fact that I get the same type of vertical offensive threat as well as the potential to space out with whatever they can around the defensive end as being switchy, if not a little undersized at the forward spots.
Okay. Let me consider. Yeah, that one kind of hurt. He was definitely part of my plan.
It's nothing bad. That's revenge for Moses Moody. I mean, ultimately, you still get the
well,
better.
I mean, we knew who was going number one. Let's be honest.
I mean,
here.
I thought you might take a swing for Kelly Oubre.
Do you know me?
I know, I'm messing with you. But I thought you would consider it. I don't know. Part of me figured you
just
would
to
go
sell tickets because he's supposedly pretty. Like I don't know what the appeal for Kelly Oubre is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kidding about Oubre, but I really thought you might go someone random. Like I could see you like.
I mean, I would go
like a Svi Mikhailuk or.
I am the type of person that would go completely random. So I am gonna go with a guy who is also pretty young, really promising young big man who has a lot of interesting flashes of things. I'm taking Day'Ron Sharpe, 6'11", 20-year-old Brooklyn Nets. He's shown glimpses that he's able to operate in a variety of pick and roll coverages. He can drop, he can switch, he can do basically everything you want pick and roll defense wise, which is very rare to find, period, let alone in a physically gifted 20-year-old. On top of that, he's even shown some flashes of quality passing and could potentially develop into a dribble handoff big, which can be very helpful in like a movement centric offense and stuff. So I got to take Day'Ron Sharpe to join Moses, Jason, and John.
Not bad. Not bad. Okay. This is interesting. Not that Day'Ron was really on my list, just that I didn't really have anyone to back up after him. Looking at my team right now,
Kelly
Oubre. I'm leaning Kelly. I'm playing Kelly. Kelly's nice. Kelly's nice, but I already have my irrational offense guy with Tim Hardaway. Unless he falls later, in which case I'll grab him. But I'm circling around the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
And
there are a lot of options there. That's true.
There are, just how many of them are actually good? I mean, Ty Jerome shot way better from three last year. I've always liked his playmaking skills. Darius Bates
definitely liked him in college.
Yeah. Taylor Maladon's had moments, but I'm not really there. Isaiah Roby around the same. Derek Favorites was never in my review in VIT. I'm sorry. Maybe I should go the Pelicans. Yeah, I'm gonna go circle the Pelicans. And I don't like.
There's one guy there you better not take, I'm going to be very mad at you for non-expansion draft reasons.
Oh wait, now I'm concerned. Okay, 1 second.
There's somebody who's unprotected in part because of like assault.
Okay. Wait, oh dang. I think I know
Yeah,
what you're
so
talking
like
about.
there's somebody where like I don't want him on my team, but I'll still be mad if you take him.
Oh no. Okay. See, and I think I know who you're talking about because I was who I was looking at. But
Yeah,
not
yeah,
for.
yeah.
I mean, he
If you're looking
obvious.
for a rim diving big,
Yes,
it's
that's
that
darn
guy.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Why
I
can't you
mean,
be a
you're free
good?
to do it. You're free to
No.
do it.
Why
It's just
can't
I'll be
people
mad
be
at you.
good people? I'd forgotten about that. I remember there
Yeah.
was a police thing around it, but didn't realize that he was in. Darn it! Why? Well, wait a sec. Then what's the name would be available? Oh, he was a free agent. Darn it! Yeah, no, I can't in good
Sorry,
conscience do
man.
that. No, it's good. I mean, I guess that just darn it. I don't need another guy from the that ruins what I was thinking.
So
Okay.
I'm just throwing this out there, not necessarily for this pick, but considering you are the homecoming of the Seattle Supersonics, Terrence Ross, a very gifted shooter with hops, is from Washington. Something to keep in your mind. Might be some goodwill as well as, you know, a little bit of hometown buzz. Doesn't necessarily fit in for this particular pick, but
Yeah, if he still happens to hang around, that is someone to
just
look at
wanted
for
to put
sure.
that out there because it'd be nice to have a Seattle guy
No,
wind up in
absolutely.
Seattle.
For real. I mean, I will. That would be nice. I mean, I have nothing with sentimentality though. But no,
I know.
I mean, looking at, I guess, a guy in a similar vein.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really get a whole lot of playing time as a rookie. Got a lot more time in the G League. Pretty capable defender. Not really great offensively, and his hands aren't super great, so he hasn't been like a great pick and roll partner. But if we're looking at what he's done on the defense side of the ball, there is good potential there. Also, only played a couple of summer league games, but in that time, improved. It looked like. I mean, granted, grain of salt because summer league, but averaged 14.5 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, and an assist in 23 minutes. He plays for the Hornets. His name is Nick Richards. So I will be selecting
Okay.
him
Okay.
to cement my front line as I then look at someone at replacement. I mean, for the guy I was going to grab, I think he'll be okay. Again, defensive capabilities are really strong. We need a guy like that on this roster. And I think he provides what I was looking for from the other guy without any of the baggage that the other guy comes with. So we're going to go with that. And younger.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And without shooting control. So, yeah.
So you know me. We've had this discussion before. I value off-ball shot creation and players who can kind of shoot off movement, can kind of draw help defense and help open up other looks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with one of the few guys who's actually done that on the NBA level fairly consistently across a bunch of different contexts. I'm gonna go with Landry Shamet.
Interesting. Okay. Wasn't really on my radar. He's had a history being traded as if he's a player of extreme value when I think he's not. But I
No,
do agree with what you're saying in terms of what he brings to the table. I mean, obviously, you know his play style, you know his what he brings in that way, and you're building a team that I think would optimize him better than the teams that have acquired him, shoehorning him in a role that is not his. So I like it.
thanks.
Yeah. It's easier for me to like picks I wasn't going to consider than it would
Yeah,
be
exactly. It's
for
weird, right?
yeah.
You're like, that doesn't make me mad.
No, exactly. Like, yeah, sure, go for that. Awesome. Like, absolutely. This pick is probably leaning more toward my usual inhibitions in terms of a player that I like. I still believe in this guy. He ranked in the 75th percentile in isolation scoring, which, isn't super bad, just 23 years old. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time last year. Shooting splits were kind of ugly. His advanced stats weren't much better. His effective field goal percentage, yikes, 45%. And all the box score, plus minus win shares, warp, not great. Every time he stepped on the floor, basically, one team played worse. But that doesn't tell the full story. His usage rate was high. I think he has a lot of room to grow in the area. Maybe not have as big a usage rate. He won't have that here. I'm going to grab Nikhil Alexander Walker with my pick. Listen, I just think he has potential to be a decent offensive player. Right now, he's not. I mean, and that's just what it is. But defensively, he's done okay. 6'5", wingspan just under 6'10". He can defend multiple positions. He's shown some real promise there. He was ranked 70% to isolation defender. My mistake, which I think is actually more admirable.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
So there we go. So I'm going to go with him there. And yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to get a lot of time in Utah on account of Utah being Utah this year. So there you go.
I like how you skirted that. Nicely done.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just hopeful that it works out really well for him. I still have hope in him. I really wish that he'd had made the most of the opportunity he was given in New Orleans.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Who do I think I actually have to worry about Corbin taking off my board? I don't have many people I have left on my board.
Right.
I'm going to take a proven NBA rotation big who's shown an ability to space the floor, also doesn't make mistakes, isn't going to hurt my team in any way. I'm going to take Dean Wade from Cleveland.
Okay. I like it. I have a guy I'm circling as a backup big that I wanted. That sounded about the same. Dean Wade's nice. I'm gonna take a player who fits those same qualities. Really came out in the postseason. Needs to work on not fouling as much, but I like the ability to actually legit starts the floor, finish around the basket, bring some decent size, hustle player. Love the hair. Naz Reid.
Nice choice. Yes, I have some plans later that affect my center position, but Naz was definitely somebody I was considering when I saw that he ultimately became unprotected.
Saving leaves yours for the taking, Josh. So you can take that, and I'll go with my next pick.
Okay, let's see. I am going to go with, and basically at this point, the rest of this is just kind of gravy for the most part for me. I'm not really planning on bringing many of these players actually to my roster at the start of the season. A lot of these guys will maybe get some summer league run, training camp invite, see if there's anything there. But for the most part, I'm probably just going to waive people going forward. But one guy that I want to have, because I think, especially for a young team, you need that veteran mentor who's seen everything, who's been on all sorts of contexts, who's gonna have that insight into, like, how should you take care of your body, how should you prepare, how should you set up your routines, how should you deal with, like, the refs, all that sort of stuff. For an expansion team, you need somebody who can do that. I'm going to take the 36-year-old, very wise Garrett Temple to be essentially the professionalism coach for my team.
I like what you're bringing to the table there. That's interesting. I wasn't gonna select him, but I understand we're at that point in the draft where the players we grab, as you said perfectly, aren't necessarily going to make the final roster.
Mm-hmm.
They're just more or less people we have to select and see what happens from there.
And we might have the pleasure of screwing another NBA team out of somebody who's actually in their rotation or something.
There you go. Exactly. I have a player I'm going to be hopefully doing this with in the future as we continue on here. But in the meantime, between time for my next pick, if I take Russell Westbrook, I can let him go, right?
I mean, you can work out a buyout with him if you think so, but like, so it won't count against your team salary number, but like, you'll still have to pay him. So can you convince your owner that that's like here's the thing. Teams are also able to compensate expansion teams for taking or not taking players of decision. So, do you think the Lakers would at least give you the 2027 pick to take Russell Westbrook off their hands and give them a $44 million traded player exception that opens up a lot more flexibility for them to operate on? Do you think the Lakers would give you that pick for that?
I do. I mean, they've been trying to get rid of Russ for one pick this entire time. So that is true. That's a thought. I mean, the problem is right now, do I really see 2027 as something I want for a team and myself that's going to be, I mean, I don't know. That's a good thought. Because at the end of the day,
The other thing is, I mean, it's kind of silly to think this way because these tickets are going to be sold regardless. Seattle's a fantastic location, a fantastic franchise. They're going to come out in droves. But Russ would also help make for an exciting style of play if you didn't waive him. And even if you did waive him, that's, that 44 million's not going to count against you, but in the process, you can pick up a future draft pick.
That's true. It's something I have some free agency draft ideas, and so I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I do too. But
the
something to consider because, we do know for a fact that the Lakers have been trying to get off him, and they would definitely be willing to open up 44 million in flexibility that they could bring players in via trade and that sort of thing into that traded player exception and stuff, or sign players into that. So I think it's an option, but obviously I don't. I'm not going to take Russ.
I know you are.
So Russ is going to be available at the very last pick if you need to. Yeah.
And I was also going to say, ultimately, talking about screwing another team, I get your pick, but what if I just take you off the table as one team less to have to worry about in free agency in the offseason?
Well, I don't think they would. I mean, I think they'd still be over the cap and everything.
Oh, yeah, it's still. I mean, they would have a lot more flexibility though.
They would have a lot more flexibility. So if you're planning on any trades or something like that, that's another team that could potentially have that if you made that deal. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, like you said, he's not going anywhere, so I will continue to monitor the situation. But in the meantime, between time, Gary Harris and Terrence Ross, I don't know. I want to have a lot of money, flexibility. So far, my teams aren't really expensive. I mean, I did gamble and lose with Tim Hardaway a little bit, but I can't be under.
I don't think you're not going to be too bad. You're still going to have a fair amount of cap space, especially considering a lot of the players that we select from here on out, like we said, are going to be waived, and therefore they're not going to count towards our cap.
Exactly. And with that in line, I'm taking Aaron Nesmith.
Oh, okay.
I believe in a 3-point shooting, even though we haven't exactly seen that yet. At least a quarter, based off of what he showed in college and what, the cachet that he was going to bring as a shooter has not happened yet. Also, his size, defensively, he's had some moments that were solid. And I mean, some of that might not waive because he is young enough that he can be a part of this core. And I like the potential there. So we'll take him, and we will continue to watch Westbrook. Maybe I'll pull up some 2017 highlights while you.
Back into the nice times, the happier times.
I'm not gonna lie, it was recommended to me earlier because YouTube is just all-seeing.
It knows everything, man.
Yep,
everything.
I watched them earlier.
So I'm gonna take another guy who I think, if he does make my actual roster as of opening day, it's because he's gonna provide a lot of interesting mentorship lessons. Has only played in the NBA this past season, but he has a lot of background overseas. He's been an NBL champ. He won the bronze with the Australia Boomers team. I'm going to take Jock Landale from San Antonio.
Solid. One of your guys.
Yeah.
One of your guys. That's the best way to say that. I mean, you described him really well as well, but that's what I just see in my head. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, that's a Josh guy.
That's a Josh guy. All right.
Just like, yep, Tim Hardaway Jr. is a Corbin guy.
True. And what's
Yep.
funny is looking at it now, I rather would have had Terrence Ross, and I still might select him.
The nice thing is you could still select Terrence Ross unless there's somebody on the Magic that I would consider waiving.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, do I really want to take Ross on to waive him? Because here's my thing. I'm not waiving. I'm trying to play this differently than I normally do. And
That's fair.
Usually I like to stockpile my shooting,
I know.
scoring in droves. I'm trying to do it differently. If I get Tim Hardaway and I get Terrence Ross, I'm getting essentially. Wow, how long I've been recording with this up? Oh my god!
I don't know.
Oh my god! I hope the audio wasn't a mess. Lord have mercy. Okay, well, hopefully. Wow, that's insane. All right, well, here we are. We're just gonna keep rocking it. Listen, I wonder how it would look with those two in roles where they have money that both come off the books. Well, actually, no. Ross comes off the books next year. I am stuck with Hardaway. Man, I did not pick right in that first one. Moses Moody threw me off, man. He just threw me off.
I'm sorry. He was clearly the first pick.
He clearly was, but I was you had it right. It just
okay.
I
know.
All right. Malachi Flynn.
Okay.
Malachi Flynn, young guard. I don't know. I just don't know if I can take Terrence Ross. I want Terrence Ross because, like you said, the Seattle ties. It sounds really cool.
you still could down the line. Like it's
and I mean he comes off the books. Maybe he signs a free agent next year.
Yeah. Maybe you could rework like a different deal to bring him back with a hometown discount. But I like Malachi Flynn. Quality pick and roll guy, hasn't really worked out that well in Toronto, but worth a shot at seeing if he can work out in a different context. Like, good pick.
All right, appreciate it.
So now I mean, I could waive all these guys, but I kind of like the idea of taking a restricted free agent and turning them instantly into an unrestricted free agent. So I'm going to go Vlatko Konkar from Denver. Enjoy your unrestricted free agency, buddy. But
there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to think. Yeah, whoever I draft here is most certainly getting waived after.
There's a lot of. It sounds really callous, but there's a lot of waivable guys.
Yeah, unfortunately there is, and you know what?
Although, throwing this out there, why aren't you interested in Shake Milton?
I am kind of interested in Shake Milton. Okay. It's a low money amount.
Yeah,
he's not as young as I thought he was.
Okay.
And so I'm not getting. He is what he is, and I already have a few players who are what they are, and I've been trying to lean toward the untapped potential with guys like Martin, Johnson, Neesmith, Flynn, to a certain extent, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You know, the only two guys who I think have like plateaued. Maybe Naz Reid because he came in kind of how he is, and that's solid, and definitely Tim Hardaway Jr. because the dude's like 29. But I mean, I don't see a superstar happening from him, and we know what he is. So that's why I'm not leaning Shake. Like Shake, yeah. I do like him, though. If he still sits around, maybe I will. I'm surprised he hasn't taken Paul Reed, actually.
I've thought about it. And I still might, but I have other things, other gears turning about free agency and trades and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, just because you might take Paul Reed, I'll take Shake Milton.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I had to be mean.
Hey, it is part of the strategy, right? Like it is part of the strategy.
Yep. I mean, I could waive Shake. I could trade Shake.
Yeah, exactly.
Shake has some value.
Yeah. But so are you actually taking Shake?
I'm
because I don't know. I don't know right now if you're still joking.
No, I was because I was like, oh, it's mean. But now I think about it. No, there's some strategy to it. I'm gonna do it because the guy I was gonna take, I think, will still be there after you select.
Okay. So Shake and Philly are off the board, and you're right. was definitely considering Paul Reed, so that's
Okay.
it's a good block.
There you
Um,
go. Rejection.
at this point, again, I'm
Disgrace.
just kind of waving people. Uh, so I think I am going to. Actually, I think he has one of the lower cost things, so at least my owner doesn't have to pay as much. I'm going to take Saban Lee from Detroit. That's something at least my owner doesn't have to shell out. Like even when I
Money
waive.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. Hmm. All right, I guess I'll take the guy who slipped to me. That is Vernon Carey Jr.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy I was considering in the last one. But we will make it official.
Okay. Board's getting thinner, but also I think Corbin and I are most likely just viewing these players as cap space, unfortunately, which is again callous way to look at it. But
Also, it's kind of real, yeah. Unfortunately,
now the question is, do I screw Corbin out of potentially getting Terrence Ross just because I want to take Devin Kennedy and wave him? No, I am a nice person, generally speaking. Not always, but generally speaking. I'm gonna take Hayward Highsmith from Miami, and again, likely waive him.
Okay. I am going to take the guy making almost nothing, Trendon Watford.
Nice. Okay.
I'm Trendon, you will find a new home, but I just wanted to. You were for a moment a Seattle Supersonic, just like Russell Westbrook. Being put with such great names should make Watford, and he has some promise as a player. Like joking
That's
aside,
true. Yeah.
joking aside, Watford has.
Like we just have to waive them before the regular season starts, opening day. So like these are still guys that we might bring into training camp or summer league and see if anything kind of pops.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like it.
Okay. Let's see here. Just on principle, I won't go with anybody on Sacramento.
Oh wow.
I don't know why. I'm gonna go Marko Simonovic from the Bulls. Again, lower salary for the subsequent stuff, so like costs my owner a little less
to do that.
Yeah, like I mean, why not?
That's true.
Also, that's goodwill. If I save the owner some money, they're more likely to potentially give me a little more leeway if I'm like, hey, if we add in an extra $1 million to this trade offer, we can get this pick that we're looking to buy or something like that.
I mean, it does kind of, yeah. That does. I see what you're saying in terms of moving with your team. Like, hey, this was more responsible on a fiscal level. Speaking of picks, apparently it's my pick on the other draft we're in, Josh. And
I thought we were done.
Apparently, I'm the last pick because I picked Slater Martin.
And he was already.
But I already had Cam Reddish, and they both were Knicks.
Atlanta.
I did not remember Slater was. Hawks. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
They said Knicks, but I think they meant Hawks. So it was picking between Slater Martin and Cam Reddish, and I picked Slater Martin. Although I'm debating about going back on that. In fact, I think I will.
Okay.
Because I had the last pick of this. Anyway, going back to our actual draft, the one that matters here. Shout out to the franchise, like, draft sickos, whatever. I am going to take Ty Jerome. Come on down.
Alrighty.
Would have said Darius Baisley, but he makes more, and he's been more disappointing.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, again, Ty Jerome brings that shooting into summer league and training camp if you bring him that far along, and like,
Yeah, he has that potential, if you will. There.
yeah. Okay. Also savvy move because OKC also had some cheaper guys that fit my strategy.
Ah, they did. They did indeed.
Yep. Okay, well, I will then go with Miles McBride from the New York Knicks.
Interesting. Knicks fan favorite. Although, to be fair, anyone who plays for the Knicks becomes a fan favorite unless they suck.
Generally
And
speaking, yes.
yeah, unless they suck and the team turns on them. Because
Oh
even if
yeah.
they suck, you might have he's the best. RJ Barrett. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Also, Corbin, I have to mention we only have to select up to 14. You can select up to 15 players if you want, but basically we only have to select up to 14. So just throwing that out there.
Okay, thank you. And that's what we're gonna do. Just 14 for me.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Yeah, because you're right. This is getting rough real quick.
Yes, it is.
How would I negotiate a buyout with Terrence Ross? Actually, no. Do I even want those?
I don't know. You don't even necessarily. So right now,
I just don't want to limit my money. I want to be flexible.
I hear that.
Seattle
but right
can
now,
play.
almost everyone else outside of Tim Hardaway Jr. Is less than $5 million a year.
Yes.
And again, like I have the feeling Milton, you might try to flip. I don't know if Carey or Flynn you're actually planning on having on your roster, but like you still don't really have a whole lot of scoring outside of Tim Hardaway Jr.
Well, I have plans though for that.
I know you do.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't have a whole lot of scoring, but like I want to break. No, I'm just kidding. That song.
Break free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is how you know we're getting late in the weeds on this. Okay. I don't have a lot of scoring, but I would try to trade Tim Hardaway and Shake Milton as a sweetener. So no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stick to my guns.
Okay.
And we're gonna go with
You do you, man.
There's no more Bamba. You want to Bamba, but there is Mo Wagner.
Okay.
We're gonna take Mo. Ooh,
breaking up the family.
No.
Breaking up the family, man. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do that.
You're going Devin Kennedy?
I think I am.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper, and also, I mean, he had some moments.
Okay.
Granted, G League, but
hey,
moments.
It's all about getting that
low sample size. Only played in 8 games in the 2020-21 season, but shot 37% from 3. You know how low a sample size is this? He shot 6-16.
Yeah. Dang. Okay.
And he was 0 of 7 in 145 minutes last year, which, granted, is not a lot.
Yep.
But also, yeah, he's probably gonna get moved too. Honestly, if I could have packaged Ross and Hardaway together as like, hey, these two scoring guards, but I really don't know what team outside the Lakers would probably be interested in a group like that because they desperately need outside shooting, and even then,
you'd have to take Russ
Lakers
back.
salary back exactly, and that would just defeat the purpose. Whereas right now,
but if you did it that way, you might get both picks.
Now that is true. I mean, let's be real though. I mean, yes.
I mean, those are like current 7th or 8th graders right now. So
yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
like,
and the Lakers have been reticent to deal those picks for Kyrie. I mean, now apparently now they're open for Kyrie, but they're reticent to do it for Miles Turner and
Buddy Hield.
So if you're not gonna do it for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, I think the Miles Turner Buddy Hield package is admittedly better than a Tim Hardaway Terrence Ross. Yes, and if you're not gonna do it for those two, you won't do it for mine. I mean, it is us thinking outside projecting.
Yes.
The Rob Pelinka Lakers front office continues to elude me.
Make Corbin feel all sorts of things.
Yep. But wow, okay.
Okay, so with my last pick, I'm gonna take Goga Batadze from Indiana.
Remember him getting in a little bit of a rift with his ex-coach a couple years back.
Yep.
Very interesting. Good finisher on the basket. Not really good defensively, like the guy.
Yep. And unfortunately,
Um,
that leaves Corbin with very few options left. There's
it
Russ,
really
George
does.
Hill, and then the Sacramento trio of Mo Harkless, Terrence Davis, and Alex Len. And fair warning, Terrence Davis has a slightly similar situation to Jackson Hayes.
Wait, who? Oh yeah, Davis. I'm aware of Terrence
Yeah.
Davis. Now
Okay.
that I
Okay.
know, you're right. All right, let's negotiate if the Lakers are available.
Okay. I will pretend to be the Lakers front office.
All right, I'm thinking about
Hello.
taking. Hello, sir. Rob, great to talk to you again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm debating taking Russell Westbrook off your hands, but I would like to be compensated.
Okay. What
Um,
are you thinking?
okay, real quick before we continue this negotiation, stepping out. This is before the draft, so this is the regular
Yeah, this is
roster.
before the draft.
There's the roster of
This is
protected.
the roster they ended with last season. So
Okay,
nothing free agency, nothing subsequent. Like
gotcha.
haven't brought in Lonnie Walker and all those guys yet.
Good.
But
So running through for the sake of the pod here,
mm-hmm,
Rob, I know that you have protected LeBron, Anthony Davis, Taylor Horn
mm-hmm,
Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson, Wengen Gabriel.
mm-hmm.
I will take Russ for your choice of the 2027 or 2029 first round picks. Not both, just one.
Okay.
And Austin Reeves.
Hmm. Considering that this is going to give us a whole mess of flexibility to probably make a type of trade where we could get a Buddy Hield or a Miles Turner or some other pieces that can help us. Uh, you got a deal.
Okay, Rob, thank you. It's been great. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm hanging up the phone. I'm
Yeah,
hanging up
yeah,
the
yeah.
phone before Rob reconsiders because I do value Austin Reeves. Both of his nicknames he once changed. I will not refer to them, although I thought they were funny, just not given the present day context. Now,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that being said, Austin Reeves. Oh, Rob, calling you back. Which pick,
Yes.
2027 or 2029? Not that it matters. These guys are kids right now.
Let's go. I'll give you the 2029 one.
I like that too. A little more of the morass for the Lakers. Okay, cool. Done. So 2029 first rounder and Austin Reeves. All right, now I need to call Russ's agent because, well, no, I don't. We can figure that out. No, I want to have that money for the offseason. Well, wait, so let's get to the draft and free agency. That money doesn't kill this team. It actually kind of does. You know what? No, we got, okay, so I took him, I traded him. Is there a way to talk to Russ's agent? We're getting off this money.
You can talk to Russ's agent. He's not going to want to give too much back. That said, again, like you can put him on waivers before the season starts. No one's going to claim him off waivers. So you're still going to have to work out some sort of buyout with him.
Dang
But
it! The poison pill.
it's not gonna impact if you do buy him out and waive him before the opening day. It's not gonna impact your cap space, but your owner is gonna have to shell out a big check.
Yeah, no, we gotta buy him out. Darn it, I knew I shouldn't have gotten Russ. Okay, the gift that keeps on giving. I said this wasn't meant to be, and then I went and did the darn thing anyway.
You
How
did
much would
pick up a future
Russ?
first
That is
and
true.
Austin Reeves.
That is true. And I like Austin Reeves. I do like the first. How much would Russ be willing to take to drop off? I mean, either that or we sit him John Wall style. You will not play for Seattle, Russ.
Yeah. The problem is if you sit him, it will count against your cap space.
I know, but if I don't buy him out, I'm stuck with him anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if I waive him,
I
it
think
doesn't
you
count,
have
but
to
we still
buy him
gotta
out.
pay.
But let's say that he's willing to give back, let's say 10 mil. Let's say he'll give back 10 mil. You still have to shell out 34.
I'm not frozen. I'm just.
You gotta do one of these things, man.
What was
Either
I
that
thinking?
cap hit lands on your cap sheet, which messes your free agency and trade plans, or you got to work out a buyout with Russ where
Why did I do
again
that? Alex Len was looking so flipping good.
You did pick up an extra pick and Austin Reeves.
Yes, but was it worth these problems? I don't know. Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh. Okay, Corbin, get together, get
There's
together.
still time for you to make this right in the draft and with free agency. Like,
But
you
my
can still make this
flexibility.
work. You can still make it work. You just gotta come
Ugh.
at it from a different angle, my friend.
Yeah, the darn. Ugh. Okay. All right. We're gonna do the
Here's
buyout.
another question. Do you think there's anybody else who might who might still have some cap space, who would maybe take Russ for that Lakers pick? And yes, you would still have, you'd still have Austin Reeves for nothing, basically.
That is true. I mean,
But like,
honestly, looking at
is
the
there any
roster
other
here
people?
as currently constructed, Washington, but no, they still have contracts I have to take back.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not Sacramento, same thing. Portland, nah, they already got. Nope, can't do that. I don't even know why I said Portland. There was no way they would do that. Orlando,
I don't know if they. I mean,
uh,
they have some cap
they
space. You'd
have
still have
some
to take
cap
somebody
space. I would
back,
need to
but
take maybe Markel. Well, the Markel is probably a guy they value.
yeah, you'd probably have to take
Oklahoma
Jonathan
City,
Isaac. You'd
Oklahoma
probably have
City.
to take Isaac. Yeah, you're right. Actually, OKC would work because at this point in time, they have not taken
Yep,
in Alec Burks,
they have
Nerlens
not.
Noel, but also Sam is a very savvy negotiator. So is Sam going to be happy alone with the 2029 pick?
I'll give him the 2029. Well, let me call Sam.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Hey Sam. Yeah, Corbin, Seattle GM. It's not going well so far. But hey,
Hey, man, nice to talk to another Seattle GM.
appreciate it, man. Just trying to be like you when I grow up. But in the meantime, between time, I want to give Russ the homecoming he deserves. Been a rough couple of years since he went away. I think it's time for him to come back to Oklahoma City, work well with SGA, help, bring in Josh Giddey and Tyler along. Point being, you don't really care about that. That's fine. I am willing to speak just straight up facts here. I'm going to try to offer you Russ along with the Lakers 2029 first round pick, completely unprotected. Our own 2024 first round pick, unprotected. And I will even throw in a 2025 with major protections. Let's say top 3 protected. We are going to keep that 2023. I'm not telling you this. This is for the viewers.
I know.
2023, of course, Victor Wembanyama. Like, I'm not playing with that. Even Keontae George or anything there. But what do you think about 2 future picks that could end up pretty high, as well as 1 protections, just to give me a little bit of security there for the contract of Russell Westbrook?
And what would I have to send out to you? Because I have to send something out to you to make a trade legal.
A second.
How about
top 55?
Top 55 protected second.
There you go. Good old fashioned top 55s.
Okay, so here's where I'm having a little difficulty. Russ is very beloved here, right?
Yes.
We've already traded him per his wishes. How do you think it would go over if we were to waive Russ?
So, listen, I don't tell you how to run OKC. However you want to do that is up to you. I'll throw in another second round pick. Sam Presti, he get paid the big bucks. All right. However that works out is how that works out. Maybe Russ never comes back to OKC. It's a Luke Ridnour moment where he gets traded and immediately rerouted. And yes, that'll be on you to have to find the rerouting.
You expect me to be able to find someone else who will take that contract?
Listen, Derek Favors this past year. The year before that, you had, well, who was it?
Yeah, this is a
Kemba
completely
Walker,
different situation.
Chris Paul, and you get 3 first-round picks potentially. And you're right, it's totally different, but I can't tell you that.
Fair enough. Okay, give me a sec.
A second rounder, that's it? Okay, done. No, I'm playing.
No. Give us a pick swap too.
All this
not in 2023. I'll make sure I have enough in the chamber for Victor myself. Give us a 2024 swap.
Done.
Okay. So just throwing this out to the podcast. So Corbin has selected Russell Westbrook in a deal with the Lakers where he's going to get the 2029 unprotected first and Austin Reeves. Then he turned and pivoted and called Sam Presti at the OKC Thunder and offered a Russell Westbrook homecoming along with the 2029 unprotected Lakers first, was it 2025?
2025 first
2025
rounder.
unprotected first
Unprotected.
from the Seattle Supersonics, and a pick swap in 2024 for a very large TPE and a top 55 protected second round pick to be determined by the Thunder.
There it is. There it is.
All right.
Wow, Alex Len could have been my pick. Lord,
but look, you managed to bring Russ back to OKC. You picked up Austin Reeves, and you got a top 55 protected second.
What an asset play! What an asset play, Josh. Oh my god!
I think you're net negative on picks, but you facilitated a nice thing. That's cool. So we've now concluded the expansion draft. Now, do we want to run through each other's teams real quick?
Let's do it.
All right, Corbin, go ahead. Hit them with what your expansion team is. Noting, everybody, that a fair amount of these people are probably going to be waived.
Yes, definitely. So my first pick was Tim Hardaway Jr., followed up with Kenyon Martin Jr., had a theme there, then Jalen Johnson, Nick Richards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid. These aren't in order, these are just the picks. Aaron Nesmith, Malachi Flynn. I hope Nick Richards wasn't. No, he wasn't. Yeah, Malachi Flynn, Shake Milton, Vernon Carey Jr., Ty Jerome, Devin Kennedy, and Russell Westbrook. And you heard the shenanigans that ensued after that. But that is the new team for the 2022-2023 Seattle Supersonics as it stands after the expansion draft.
Okay. So the Vancouver Orcas, after the expansion draft, have Moses Moody, Jason Preston, John Conchar, Day'Ron Sharp, Landry Shamet, Dean Wade, the vet Garrett Temple, Jock Landau, Vlatko Kankar, Saban Lee, Hayward Highsmith, Marko Simonovic, Miles McBride, and Goga Bitadze.
I think we picked teams that represent us well.
Yes. I'm interested to see what Corbin does with the 5th pick in the 2022 draft. We're operating as if the first 4 picks happen as they happened. So there's no shenanigans where we end up with Paolo, Chad, or Jabari. Unless you think you can entice one of those teams to trade down to the 5th pick with you. But you also are a little lower on draft capital.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So maybe somebody, Houston would really like Tim Hardaway Jr., but who knows? So go ahead with the 5th pick of the 2022 draft. Who do you take?
All right. So looking at this draft now, because I really want to make sure I get a good pick here. As I typed in 2002 NBA draft and was like, I'm going to take Yao Ming. No, I'm playing. Let me see. So looking at it here with the 5th pick in real life, this was Jaden Ivey.
Mm-hmm.
Although looking at my team, I'm not drafting based off of need in this case. I like Jaden Ivey. In the real draft cycle, I liked Johnny Davis, even though he disappointed during the summer league. Jalen Duren had some nice potential as well. Ochai Abaji, Mark Williams was decent. AJ Griffin, though, was the guy I really was high on. Did battle some injury issues at Duke, but I love the fact that he's just this pure shooter, 6'6", decent defensive potential. So I'm going to go with AJ Griffin.
Wow, impressive. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my
Um,
set.
no,
But
no,
yeah,
you're
that's where
good.
I'm
Yeah,
going.
it went quiet for a second. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no, it's me. I
Um,
had to talk. Yeah, sorry, I stepped away for a sec.
hmm. So sitting at sixth,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like Jaden. I like Jaden, but I also have a particular strategy that I'm trying to operate from that includes free agency and some other stuff. I'm wondering if I might be able to trade down and pick up an additional pick. Uh, I don't I don't think Portland would do that necessarily because Ivy with Lillard and Simons probably doesn't make much sense. Spurs have a couple of picks. Maybe the Spurs would move up. Yeah, the Spurs would probably move up for Ivy. So I'm going to call up RC and I'm going to see if RC would be interested. Hey, RC, how's it going?
hey, it's going okay. It's going okay.
Glad to hear that, my
Winning
friend.
for
Glad to hear that.
Wimbenyama.
I hear you. Would you like to maybe have the opportunity to pair Victor with Jaden Ivey? Would that be intriguing to you?
It would. It would.
Okay.
Nice big man. Pretty good point guard. I'm surprised Seattle missed out on that guy. I mean, he's a guard you really could build a team around potentially, but I don't know that guy.
We're all just grasping at straws, my friend.
Oh, not me, Josh. Not me.
Well, I know you aren't, but I'm,
I'm, just,
I'm trying.
I'm,
I'm trying to be good at like this is my first
I'm
real
really
GM
playing this
job.
RC Buford
RC. I'm
line.
I'm
Yeah.
trying like I have a jersey with your name on it. I
Thank
think
you.
you're great.
Appreciate you.
So uh would you be willing to do the ninth pick? Um actually no, because they'd be bumped back even further. You know what, RC? I'll have to call you back. I have some other people
Wow.
to talk to. I'm sorry.
Wasting my
Um,
time.
I apologize, RC. I'll make
It's
it up
okay.
to you with some good wine and food.
You know what? I appreciate it, sir. Hey, we're all in the same boat together. Good luck.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So I know Detroit probably still wants Ivy, but they're also probably happy to just take Duran if Ivy's off the board. Plus, they might buy my not buy my bluff and think that Ivy will last after me. You know what?
Interesting.
Trading down is generally one of the stupidest things to do, and I'm gonna get vilified along like all my friends are like, you got to take Ivy if you get the opportunity. I was so certain that Corbin was going to do it. It didn't even occur to me that Ivy would be there. So I'm going to stick with my plan, even though I know Ivy has a mass of potential and crazy athleticism, is going to be a really, really good player. But I'm actually going to take Dyson Daniels from the G League Ignite. 6'6", young guard who can kind of play 1 through 3 depending on where I need him to be. He averaged like 12, 7.1, 5.1, and 2 steals per game in the G League. And even when he's not scoring particularly well, he always finds ways to positively impact the game. He's active, engaged defender. He's got the effort, the size, the feel. He makes good decisions, and his shots improved over time. And I think he's a really good fit with what I plan to do later. So I'm actually going to go Dyson Daniels, and I hope to get a gift basket from you, Troy Weaver. Um, you know, send me a gift card at least. maybe a nice fruit basket. I don't know. But there you go.
There you go. I'm not gonna
We're
lie.
gonna get killed. The fact that both of us passed on Jay
Oh,
and I
we
mean, we're
are.
gonna be
Yeah.
destroyed.
I mean, at least you
Yeah.
had a strategy. I just was so happy to get back to my own draft board. Like, I was so pumped to get back to my own draft board. I didn't even really think about the fact that, like, once he was gone, I was like, oh, damn. That's why when I played the RC Buford, I was like, oh, yeah, who passes on that guy? Because immediately I'm like, stupid, stupid, stupid. Like, I was just so happy to get my guy. It
Yeah.
never occurred to me that the easiest pick was right there. But, this is why you play the game. And, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm going to get skewered, and I deserve it. So
we
that
we
is
both
fine.
will. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So,
But it's okay. This is all a practice in philosophy and approaches, and sometimes you screw up, but that's how you build a thick skin. And you know what? Like, you're still a valid person and a valid basketball thinker, my friend, even if
appreciate that.
no one else agrees with us.
Exactly.
Same
Right?
with me. Like, I
Same
like to
thing. Oh
think
yeah,
so.
you have a
You
yeah.
know,
You definitely know you
we'll
got
we'll
the
roll with it.
juice.
We'll roll with it. And again, Troy, you're welcome. All right.
I love
So
it.
next up would be the 35th pick in the second round, which would be mine. And in that second round, with the 35th pick, I am going to take EJ Liddell from Ohio State. Um, EJ is another one of my type of guys. He averaged 19.4 points, 7.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 3.2 stocks per game on 54, 37, 76 shooting splits. He's a versatile defender, a solid rebounder. He can pass, he can shoot. And that type of versatility, especially defensively, is going to be very helpful for an expansion team. And he's an upperclassman, but he's still only 21 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do basically what New Orleans did and come out of the draft with Dyson Daniels and EJ Liddell.
There you go. I like it.
Who you got for your second round pick?
So I forgot what pick I'm at, but I forgot where I am in the draft with it. 1 second. Anyways, with my second round pick, doesn't really matter where I'm drafting a second rounder. I am going to select. He didn't really have a very good season, ankle injuries, all of that, but I still like him in the potential. Patrick Baldwin Jr.
All righty. All right. We
Shit.
have.
I was gonna take Max Christie. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So again, juniors. You have 4 juniors on your team now.
Oh man.
But okay. So the expansion draft has happened. The draft has happened. Free agency. Who do we call first? I have a couple of guys in mind. I'm sure Corbin has a couple of guys in mind. Do you want to go first or should I?
You go first. Absolutely.
Okay. So the first person I'm calling is Anthony Simons. He's 6'3", 23-year-old, 88th percentile pick and roll ball handler, 78th percentile handoff, 93rd percentile in cuts. You can't see this, but Corbin is cussing under his breath right now.
So mad.
96th percentile spot ups, 87th percentile guarded catch and shoot, 98th percentile unguarded catch and shoot. And with Dame out, he averaged 23.4 points, 5.8 assists, 2.7 rebounds on 46, 42, 87 shooting splits. The Blazers wound up re-signing him for a 4-year, $100 million contract. What I'm going to do is I'm going to offer him also a 4-year contract, but because I want to disincentivize the Blazers from matching, I'm offering him a starting salary in year 1 of $30 million, which puts it up near the max for a player of his age and experience level in the NBA. And then it'll increase by the maximum 5% I can offer into year 2. But then it'll decline by 5% in years 3 and 4. Ultimately, that means an extra $20 million. So 4 years, $120 million. And in the first 2 years, it's over 30 million each year, right when Dame's big contract's happening, right when they're going to extend Jeremy Grant. Portland's going to have some financial trouble matching that. Corbin, do you have a better offer from the Seattle Supersonics?
That's a pretty
Will
tight
you
offer.
go max level almost for Anthony Simons?
Honestly, looking at my roster, that was my one top free agent target.
Mine too.
I will go max. I will go max. And when you got him, I was like, dang it. I didn't say that, but I said a
Okay,
lot
so
more.
you're offering the full max.
I'm off for it all.
All of it.
I need for the expansion team, especially want to build around a guy. I really think building around Anthony Simons is possible. I do believe the hype. I'm sure you do as well. You gave the numbers that backed it up. But I do believe that, yeah, the question right now in real life for Portland is, can he do that alongside Dame? With Seattle, we don't got to worry about that. The show is his.
Okay. So I will go back to Anthony's agent, and I will also offer the max with a player option after year 3.
I would play.
Are you gonna match Corbin?
A player option after
Which
year
means
3,
he could leave your ass in 3 years.
and leave us at a spot where Dame will be 35. He'll still be under contract.
Well, he'd leave, like, if you match it as Seattle, he can leave Seattle in 3 years if he wanted.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Seattle.
No, I think Portland probably isn't going to match either of those.
So it's
offers.
just between us two right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Do you feel confident that he won't want to leave after 3 years?
I think
I do.
What if I were to engage Portland to a sign-in trade? Where
with what? They're not taking Tim Hardaway Jr. back. Like, I'm sorry, dude, that's not happening.
I really tried it.
I like that your brain went there, but that's not happening.
I knew it wasn't what I thought it, but I was like, let me just try to put this out in the air, put this in the universe. I wish I hadn't. I'll be like, what about Tim Hardaway and Shake Milton? I'm like, listen,
and
man.
The top 55 protected
and the top 55 second. Listen, I got it. No, I can't take that. I'm putting a lot of capital on the line for a team that will be rebuilding for certain. We're most definitely putting a year of that off the table already because I made it open. We're going for Wanyama. So that already's off the board for a losing year. Then we have to hope that by getting Wanyama, if we happen to do so in the draft, that he would work well alongside Simons. Otherwise, I'm probably looking at a scoring guard. Right now, my eyes are on Keontae George. There's a potential clash there. All of that for him to leave me in 3 years? No, I'm not matching that. I want to, but the player option did it. Congrats.
Welcome to Vancouver, Anthony Simons.
I just need him to pull.
Comes to Canada.
I need him to pull a Steve Francis. No, I'm
playing. Vancouver's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have anybody else you were focused on in free agency?
Well, I mean, he hasn't really gotten anything. He looks like he might have to pick up the qualifying offer. So, Colin Sexton.
Okay.
3 for
what kind of offer sheet are you offering?
3 for 60.
Do we think Cleveland matches that? I'm inclined to think they probably don't, but do they try to engage in a sign-in trade?
I mean, I would be willing to do that. They did offer from Chris Fedor, they did offer Sexton a 3-year deal worth 40. So kind of in line with more Jordan Clarkson type money.
Okay. And yours would be 20 mil over that. Okay.
Exactly why I'm doing it, just to make sure I at least throw a little bit more.
You know what? I think you get Colin Sexton.
There we go.
Get Colin Sexton.
And you know what? I like what Colin kind of brings to the table. His usage rate pretty decently high. He's not super old, just 23. I think, same age as Simons. Is he as good as Simons was this past year? No, but that was because he was injured, of course. And I think that he would be someone that would stick around. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
All right. Anybody else that you were focused on in free agency?
Dang that
I feel
whole
bad because I took. I
yeah.
did give you the option, and you're like, "No, you go ahead
I
first." So
was
I
being
had to,
listen.
but
I have all day long of this. I've made one off move after another. Like this is in character for me, and it sucks, Josh. But no,
mm,
you know what? Let's throw. Oh, this is tough. I think I need like one more big.
see, the nice thing is you got like Mitchell Robinson. You could try to go hard at DeAndre Ayton.
True.
You could go after Mo Bamba.
I was about to say you want to Bomba. I'm gonna go after Mo Bamba actually.
Bamba.
I'm gonna go after Mo Bamba, and I'm going to
Okay.
go for Mo Bamba and offer him. I mean, he had a great year in Orlando. 2 years.
Let me see what he actually got real quick. We'll use that.
Yeah, as
So
like a baseline.
he got 2 years, 20.6 mil.
And that's just what I was about to give him. So
Okay.
I
And you can offer him a clearer path to minutes than theoretically Orlando can now that they're
one,
bringing in Paolo.
one difference though.
Mm.
That second year's a team option.
Will his agent take that when Orlando? Well, so I think actually the Orlando one, I think the second year might be non-guaranteed. I'm not sure. Yeah, the second year is non-guaranteed. So it's a fairly equivalent deal ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Given that he feels he can get the starting spot with your team and a bigger role,
Mm-hmm.
Bomba's gonna say yes to the Seattle Supersonics.
There we go. I like that. Mo Bamba, career high in points and rebounds last year. I believe in his shot. From three, definitely needs to have more consistency from there, but he had a career high 38% last year. So we're going to go with that. And yeah, I mean, come on, 7 footer. This works. So we're going to go Multibamba.
All right.
Big boy.
So I'm going. I have two other guys I want to talk to in free agency. The first is Isaiah Hartenstein.
Of course it is.
He got Corbin knows he got a 2-year deal to be like the Knicks backup center, and his I want to say was about 8 mil per, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2-year, $16 million deal. Starts slightly below 8, ends a little over 8. I am going to offer him both the starting role, so he's not going to be a bench guy. He's going to be a starter for the Vancouver Orcas, and I'm going to offer him a 4-year deal at 8 million per flat. So it doesn't increase over the years, but he's getting 8 million a year for the next 4 years to be the starting center of the Vancouver Orcas. Corbin knows I'm a fan of him. Of all the players who played at least 1,000 minutes this past season, he actually had the lowest opponent field goal percentage against him, which was even lower than Jaren Jackson Jr., Gobert, and Time Lord, 3 depoy candidates. On top of it, he flashed a tantalizing 3-point shot, which he has shown the capability of before in the G League. And he's a fantastic passer as a big, can be a very complimentary guy in the half court, as well as a guy who, depending on your bench lineups, can also kind of be a focal point in terms of the facilitation aspect of offense in the half court sometimes. So at 7 feet, 24 years old, I'm inviting him to be a Vancouver Orca. Does his agent agree?
I think his agent would take that.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, it's the perfect mix of opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other guy I want to talk to is Jordan Nwora.
Okay. Former Buck.
And he's currently unsigned. And I plan on offering him a 2-year, $8 million contract. And Jordan's a quality 3-and-D type guy, and he's still pretty young. Another guy I can throw out there on the wings, along with Daniel, Simons, Shamit, Conchar, Moody, gives a lot of different things. So yeah, does his agent agree?
I mean, his agent has literally no other offers. I think his agent takes that.
Way to put it. Yep. So, Corbin, do you want to kind of run us through your final team as you see it heading
Yeah.
into?
Looking at my team right now, I mean, I think we have enough.
Like, who are your starters, for instance?
Well, okay, real quick before I do that,
Yep.
I want anybody interested in Tim Hardaway Jr. As a sweetener, I'll throw in a second round pick and Shake Milton. That's nobody. Dang it! What was I thinking?
Crickets. I will put this out there. You have until the trade deadline, and he's definitely going to be the guy getting the most shots up, other than Sexton,
Yeah.
on your team. So you have the chance to rehabilitate his value, and knowing that the cap's going to jump in the next couple of years as well. And he's on a descending contract.
Yeah.
So I think you will have options heading towards the trade deadline to get something more expansion friendly, like draft picks or a young guy or something for Tim Hardaway Jr. from a team trying to make a leap.
Dude, I made so many missteps this offseason. It's fun though. This is fun. But looking at this team, starters. I mean, do I even want Tim Hardaway to start, or maybe I'll play him in the Terrace Ross role? I think I will. Yeah. So it's gonna be Colin Sexton.
Okay.
In the backcourt for sure. Alongside, trying to think of my shooting guard here.
Where
Actually,
slotting AJ in?
I need to have AJ's a 3.
Okay.
AJ starting as well.
I'm guessing.
Yep, and Hardaway has to start. I don't really have enough 2s. Jeez. I mean, Shake could start, but that's too much needing of the ball. Tim Hardaway doesn't exactly need the ball, and he'll still provide spacing. So Colin Sexton, Tim Hardaway in the backcourt, AJ Griffin and Ken Martin Jr. in the front court with Mo Bamba as the center. Coming off the bench, you can expect a run from Malachi Flynn and Shake Milton as my backcourt. Jalen Johnson, Nick Richards with Naz Reid will get some of those minutes as well. And then, of course, Patrick Baldwin Jr. was going to get some run as well, just for that 3 spot, and Ty Jerome and Kennedy as needed. Until we solidify who's going to be on this roster. Who knows? We may get a trade for Hardaway Jr. in Milton at some point. No, but so far I like our team. I think is enough youth and potential across multiple positions. We have Colin Sexton locked up for a number of years. AJ Griffin has more studio space to see what he can bring offensively outside of just shooting the ball. Kenyon Martin Jr. wanted a bigger role. He has that here. Mo Bamba, same thing. And then off the bench as well, again, between Jalen Johnson, Malachi Flynn, Aaron Nesmith. I really wanted to prioritize guys who weren't getting a lot of playing time on their team, whether because full rosters or their own underachieving, give them the option to win while losing, because that way we can go from Minyama and we are achieving our goal. So Seattle Supersonics, baby. It was the process. I like the way we got to it. Could have made it a lot easier for myself by not selecting Russ and the fiasco there.
To be fair, I feel like I talked you into it, and I'm sorry.
You know what? Maybe you did actually.
I don't think I consciously tried to magician you, but I feel like I did do. I put enough pieces out there that I think it ultimately worked.
You know, I'd pick
sorry,
it up and
man.
fall. Wow, but no, it's all good.
But we are Northwest rivals, so I guess I gotta mess with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though dinner's on me next time we see each other.
There you go. Yes, sir. Whether it's Portsmouth or Summer Lake, we'll make it happen.
And I'm a food scout too, so we'll find a good spot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's nice to have the Seattle Supersonics back. I think that'll be a fun, exciting young team. And I think it'll also work in the sense that it will be fun and exciting, but probably gonna be in the running for Victor. So like I think it works out. Um, so the Vancouver Orcas are going to be starting a backcourt of Dyson Daniels and Anthony Simons. This is why I went with Dyson instead of Ivy, because I had the inclination of pairing him with Simons.
And
And I
that's a
think
lot
that
better.
pairing is fantastic. They
Wow.
complement each other very, very well.
I got
And
finessed. By Master. Yep.
um, and then on the wings, I want to give Moody a lot of minutes, but I'm probably going to start off the season with Conchar starting because, again, nice guy that fits in with whatever you're trying to do. He's not going to make mistakes. It's a guy that kind of is going to make Moody have to earn his minutes and kind of develop. Plus, Moody will have a little bit stronger of a role coming off the bench at first. Um, at and up front, I'll have EJ Liddell and Isaiah Hartenstein starting as my bigs. Provides a lot of rim protection, a lot of defensive versatility. Both of them can kind of pass and shoot to varying degrees. And again, I just think they're going to work very well with Conchar, Daniels, and Simons. My team is not going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be really fun. And I think we're gonna create a situation where Simons isn't gonna want to leave after 3 years. He might still opt out and sign a new contract with us, but I feel confident he's not going to leave. And then off the bench, I got Jason Preston, Landry Shamet, Moses Moody, Dean Wade, and Dayron Sharp as the rest of my like 10-man rotation, with Jock Landale getting a little minutes every now and then if need be. And then Nora picking up some minutes at the wings as well, and then Temple and Landell as the kind of the veteran locker room guys.
I like it. Solid. It fit the vision you were looking for from top to bottom. The draft play you did, master play there, masterful. I begrudgingly give you a hand on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, like you said, it's gonna have a team back in Vancouver, and especially a team that looks like they'll be competing relatively soon with the way they're built.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, if you get Vic, you're probably gonna leap past us pretty
Oh
quickly.
yeah, I mean that's the goal.
But
We'll see what happens, but
but uh, I think it was a fun exercise, and these are always fun exercises to kind of. I think expansion franchises, and this is partly why that's my favorite thing to do in 2K, is do like franchise mode and then do an expansion, because you really get to put your fingerprints on everything. Like, I don't have to worry about who I start off with or anything. I can kind of pick the direction I want my team to go in, and I can build that team how I see fit, assuming my owner agrees with me.
yeah,
Um,
you're being more proactive, not reactive in that team building
exactly,
process.
exactly. So, um, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm sorry if I like Jedi mind tricked you or
Yes,
something.
into my own self-destructive tendencies from a
the,
team
you
building
know what?
perspective.
It was so close though to you getting Anthony Simons. I mean, we probably still would have
We would,
negotiated back and forth, but like, it was still. I asked if you had somebody you wanted to
and
go
I don't
first,
know why
and
I said no. I was being well. You know, it's funny. It wasn't. He was on my mind, but
mhm.
wasn't. I didn't realize he was on your mind. Like I underestimated that we were into the same people to begin with. I was like, oh yeah, you go
Yeah.
first. I'll get first crack at him, and I did not. So when you said it, I was like, oh wow, like he means it. And then we all the numbers, like, oh, he really meant it. And then
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
and then at first I thought I had a chance when I did max. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna make it tough. But then the player option really threw me in for a loop, and I was like, damn. Like, I don't really have a counter for that because it doesn't work
I
for
feel
for
confident.
the way
I
I've built
feel
my
confident.
team. Yeah, it doesn't work for the
Yeah.
way I did that. So you really you got me. But no, this was fun. Like I said, I wish I hadn't dived in my self-destructive tendencies on the team building, but
With
it worked out
Tim
well. The
Hardaway.
process was fun. Yes, Tim Hardaway.
Well, to be fair, I think you wound up having the most juniors on your team, perhaps in NBA history. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, we went for
like,
it.
but I feel like you did have a clear vision. I want juniors. I want
Yep.
second generation players,
Hmm.
um, and
No, it's
you
true.
executed it, man. Like, yeah. Plus, again, Tim Hardaway Jr. is the exact type of guy, considering it's a declining contract. And we know the cap's going up in the next couple of years. That's the exact type of guy who's going to put up good numbers. Maybe not the most efficient, but he's going to put up good numbers on your team in the context you have him in. And he's going to be a guy you might be able to flip down the line at the trade deadline to somebody who's maybe going to give you some more draft capital
Yeah.
or a promising young
I mean,
player.
I wish I could have done it during this exercise, but you're right. It might
Yeah,
work
yeah.
itself out, come mid season. But yeah, this is a blast, Josh. We gotta do some more of these. It's a lot of fun. And listen, wherever y'all listen to this, definitely make sure to tune in. Follow Josh on Twitter at 2redjearl to get more of this in a masterclass, but like in an actual legit masterclass. Check him out again on
Yep.
Twitter at
Your hoops
2red.
career.
There it is. There it is. Your hoops career on Twitter at 2redjearl. To get a masterclass in semi-hoop incompetency, follow me on Twitter at CorbinNBA. Listen, I know my stuff. It just comes to a fun
You
time
do.
of doing it. So, but it's always a blast with you, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, y'all, wherever y'all listen to this, hope you enjoyed, had a lot of fun, learned a little something. And as always, have a good one.